Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Going to be going up against Hollow Crown again today. This is going to be my fourth attempt at defeating him on normal with randomizers. But I did pick my mages for this one, so I feel a lot better about my odds. Going with Ogomor. His special ability allows him to gain 6 life. And if he is exhausted, his ally will gain 5 life instead. And his unique card is Coal Shard. If you have 2 life or less, this card gets destroyed. Otherwise, gain 3 Aether, gain 1 charge, and suffer 2 damage. So, very powerful. A special ability does cost 6 to activate, however. First breach is open, second at 4, third at 9, fourth at 10. And then Maza. His special ability is Under Earth Mantra. You may gain a gem that costs 4 or less from any supply pile, but it also heals Greyfold 4 life. So he gets a little bit extra economy, and he can heal Greyfold. So I can heal myself, and I can heal Greyfold. So Ogomor is going to tank all the hits, as many as he can anyway. Maz is going to keep Greyfold in the game. So, and then his unique card is World Heart Shard, gain 1 Aether, same as a Crystal. Or gain 2 Aether that can only use to gain a card, and place the next card you gain on top of your ally's discard pile. So, this is useful for helping get gemstones early, powering up your ally, kind of superpowering him, and then he can use his special ability, which costs 4 charges instead of 5, to balance out his economy. All right, we're going to be using randomizers. So see what we get. And if you haven't watched previous videos, Hollow Crown is kind of basically a cultist leader. He has 9 acolytes that each have 11 life, and each have their own special ability. And if you kill all of them, you win the game. So there's always a minimum of 2 acolytes in play. All right, let's see what gems we got. Frozen Magmite, Volcanic Glass, and Bloodstone Jewel. That's not too bad. So Frozen Magmite, 3 costs, gain 2 Aether. You may place next card you gain this turn on top of your deck. Volcanic Glass costs 3. You may gain this on your turn. You may spend an additional 2 Aether. If you do, your ally may also gain a Volcanic Glass, but they place it on top of their deck, not their discard pile. I got that wrong last time. And it gains 2 Aether. That's a normal card. And then Bloodstone Jewel. When you gain a Bloodstone Jewel for the first time on your turn, gain 3 Aether, and then gain 3 Aether. So that's actually a pretty good combo, because if I don't have enough for anything, I can just get a Frozen Magmite. If I have 5, I can get 2 Volcanic Glasses, 1 for each. And if I have a Bloodstone enough for 6, I can get a Bloodstone Jewel, and then take that 3 and get a Frozen Magmite at the same time. So that's pretty cool. Sometimes with randomizers you can get screwed with like 2 5s and a 6, and you just don't have the ability to purchase cards. All right, and then relics. I do recommend playing with randomizers. Normal difficulty really isn't that hard. If you really want to, like, oh, you can't live without having one particular card, you know, maybe you allow yourself one of each. Like, you pick 1 gem, 1 relic, and 1 spell, and then use randomizers for the rest. I highly recommend something like that when you play on normal, because otherwise you won't experiment enough. You won't see the value in certain cards until you're forced to use them through randomizers. Cairn Compass and Conclave Scroll. Conclave Scroll costs 3, gain 1 charge. If this card's supply pile is empty, you may destroy the top card of an ally's discard pile. And Cairn Compass, an ally may prep a spell in their discard pile to their open or close breach. That's pretty good. Yeah. I like that a lot. I haven't used either of those, I don't believe. So I learned that in the first game. If I was picking my cards, I would just find like a combination I really liked, or you'd find certain cards that you really like, and you just don't move away from them and from that strategy. And to open up and really discover all the different options that are available to you, especially something that might be outside your natural play style, I highly recommend randomizers. It's helped me a lot. There's been several cards in Aeons End 2nd Edition that I learned how to use and never, ever, ever would have used had I not been forced to with the randomizers. That said, I don't play with randomizers on expert difficulty, but when you first get a box and you're just kind of messing around, trying to figure stuff out, do different combinations. Don't just find something that works and roll with it. Like experiment. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Aurora, 5 costs. While prep once returned during the main phase, may gain 1 charge. Very cool. I haven't seen that one before. 3 damage. Nova Force. This is one I haven't seen either. 6 costs. While prep once returned during the main phase, you may gain 2 Aether that can only be used to gain a spell. Deal 4 damage. Also very cool. Jagged Lightning, 4 costs, 3 damage. You may discard a card in your hand. If you do, any player focuses Closed Breach with lowest focus cost. That's not bad. And Celestial Spire, 5 costs, deal 3 damage. If this card's supply pile is empty, an ally draws a card. Yeah, I like all those. Yeah, those are fine. So, Lightning's the cheapest. Lightning. So they're all kind of mid-level spells, but nothing wrong with that. They're all 3 to 4 damage, with Nova Force being the 4. But I think they're pretty cool. All right, and we start with 2 Acolytes. Mord. His blood magic effect is Gravehold suffers 3 damage, or any ally loses 1 charge. Gravehold suffers 1 damage, and the minion suffers 1 damage. And Rengoda, any player suffers 2 damage, or any player suffers 1 damage and discards the most expensive card in hand. Well, yeah. These don't need to be on camera anymore. Alright, let's begin. Nemesis is going to go first. So we draw. Howling Spinners. Persistent. Any player suffers 2 damage. 5 life. That's unfortunate. Alright. Maz is going to go first. He will pay 3. To open his second breach. And prep 2 sparks. I kind of was... Well, I'll mess with it next time. I was thinking about getting the Jagged Lightning to Olgamore, like right away. It would be kind of cool. Alright, Olgamore's turn. He gets 5 Aether. So he's going to prep Spark. He's going to get 5 Aether, losing 2 life. So that brings him to 8. He gains a charge as well. And he gets 3, 4, 5. So in that case, I'm not going to open this, but I will focus it. I will prep Spark, and then I will purchase a Frozen. Ooh. Purchase a Conclave Scroll for 3. Give him those free charges. Help him heal. Alright. Maza's turn. He will cast both sparks. Hitting the Howling Spinner for 2. Dropping him 3 life. And he will prep spark. And then for 4. I don't have a great option at 4. He'll purchase a Jagged Lightning for himself. And we do get Olgamore. He will cast both sparks, bringing Howling Spinners down to 1. And he will then pay 3 to open his second breach, prepping both sparks. And then Nemesis' turn. Olgamore is going to take 2 damage from the Howling Spinners. And we draw Enslave. Resolve the blood magic effect of each acolyte in play without those acolytes suffering damage from their blood magic effects. So, Gravehold takes 3 damage, and any player suffers 2 damage. Okay, so that's another 2 damage to Olgamore. That drops him to 4 life, and 3 damage to Gravehold. Lose me at 27. So just in the first round, Olgamore took 7 damage, which is kind of crazy. 2 from his own ability, 2 from blood magic, and another 2 from Howling Spinner. Maybe I should have 4 life, not 6, not 3. I don't know. That's how many tokens are there, so I guess I must have done something else that did 1 damage. Alright, Olgamore does get to go again. He will cast Spark and kill the Howling Spinner. How am I about to have 1 life? That doesn't make any sense. Ugh. Alright, whatever. That's ridiculous. Okay. Cold Shard does 2 damage. It gives me a charge, as well as 3 Aether. So that does give me a total of 5, which is useful. I can buy 2 volcanic glasses, 1 for him, 1 for Maza. And I also gain a charge through using Conclave Scroll. Nemesis' turn, nothing on the board. Place the Acolyte in play with the lowest life on the bottom of the deck. I can pick one. And then draw an Acolyte and then Unleash. I'm going to put Rengoda on the bottom. Take out Solara. Any player discards 2 cards in hand. This minion then suffers 3 damage. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a very weird way to do that. I literally just pulled the bottom card off and dealt it to my hand. That is the correct card. I just didn't. I did it very oddly. I will discard 3 cards using Olgamore. Or 2 cards. I'll discard both sparks, and that will do 3 damage. Should have some with 8 from 11. Nemesis gets to go again. Unleash. So Unleash is going to be Moored. Does 3 damage to Gravehold. Or I can pay a charge. No, I'll just take the 3. That's fine. I don't want to mess with that right now. And then any player suffers 1 damage and discards the most expensive card in hand. I'm going to have Maza take that 1 damage because 1 would exhaust Ogmore. So Maza has 9, and all of his cards are starters, so he will discard a Spark. All right, Ogmore gets to go again. And for 3, he will purchase a Frozen Magmite. Can't use Cold Shard again. Maza's turn. He will prep Spark. And he can do 3 or 4. He will spend 4 on a Jagged Lightning, which goes to Ogmore instead of himself. Alright, he gets to go again. Maza's gonna cast Spark for 1 damage to Solara, prep Jagged Lightning. And then he generates 5, which is enough for Volcanic Glass for himself and 1 for Ogmore. And that's the end of round 2. Not feeling too great. But we'll see. Maza does get to go again. So he's got 7 life. He's got 11. So okay, we're gonna cast Jagged Lightning and Spark to do 4 damage to Mord, so that both acolytes are at 7 now, and I can choose which one activates. I will also discard a crystal, which allows him to focus his 3rd breach. And then generate 4 Aether, which is enough for a Jagged Lightning. I don't know why I'm shuffling that way, or drawing that way. It's kind of odd, I know. Alright, good. Ogmore does get to go again. He's going to use Conclave Scroll, gain a charge. And then he spends 4 to gain 2 charges. And he's going to activate his special ability, healing him by 6, bringing him from 1 to 7 life. Then he's going to activate Cold Shard, suffering 2 damage, bringing him back down to 5, but granting him 3 Aether and a charge. And that Aether will be used to purchase a Conclave Scroll. I actually do want to get all 5 of the Conclave Scrolls because not only do they generate charges, it's my only deck curation. But only if I get all 5. So Nemesis' turn. Let's draw. Night Unending, power 3. Gravehold suffers 2 damage for each spell prepped by the player with the most prepped spells. Okay. And Ogmore again. And he will cast 2 sparks, doing 1 damage to each acolyte. They're both at 6. He will then prep 2 sparks. And then he generates 5 Aether. And he buys an Aurora. Spent one of my crystal cards. Alright, Nemesis does get to go. We take a power token off Night Unending. And we draw Throne Watch. Minion, 6 life. Resolve the blood magic effect of the Acolyte with the lowest life. That Acolyte then suffers 1 damage. Okay, and we do get Maza. He's going to cast, or Prep Spark. And I can generate 4 Aether or 5 if I want to give something to Ogmore. I will purchase a Cairn Compass for 4. I would like to grab one, if I can get 6 Aether with each of them once, grab 1 Bloodstone Jewel Frozen Magmite combo each. That would make me feel a lot better. So when you start Maza, he's going to cast Spark for 1 on the Throne Watch, drops him to 5. He has 3 spells, so he will focus. No, he will no. I will prep Jagged Lightning and Spark, and I will use 3 to purchase a Conclave Scroll, and he will hold on to the other Spark. Alright, Ogmore does get to go. He's going to cast both Sparks on the Throne Watch, bring him from 5 to 3. We'll then prep Jagged Lightning to the second position. He's going to use Conclave Scroll for a charge. And then he generates 4 Aether. And he purchases a Jagged Lightning. Okay, Nemesis. Take a token off of Night Unending, and then Throne Watch activates. I think we're going to have Solara go. He's going to discard a Spark and a Crystal from Maza. And then Solara takes 3 damage, plus 1 damage from Throne Watch. So that drops him from 6 to 2. And then we draw a card. Morbid Gyre. To discard, spend 7 Aether. Power 1, unleash twice. Players collectively discard 3 cards. Power 1, so. Oof, okay. Ogmore's going to go. He's going to cast Jagged Lightning. Kill, which is enough to kill the Throne Watch. There's actually 3 tokens up there, but I think you only had 2. Either way, it's enough to kill him. Alright, and then he will discard a Spark, and that focuses his 3rd breach. He's then going to use Conclave Scroll, gain another charge, brings him up to 3. And then he has Coal Shard plus 2 crystals, so he's going to take 2 damage, brings him down to 3 life. He gains another charge, however, and he gains 3 Aether, which along with this is 5, which is enough for an Aurora. Guys, hold on 1 second. I'm just going to let my dogs in. They've been outside for a while. That was very good, you two. Yeah, let me give you a treat. Daddy's shooting a video. Be good and you'll get milk. Okay, sorry about that. So, yeah, I finished this turn. Okay. So Night End Ending is going to go off, and that's going to do 4 damage to Gravehold. Because Maza has 2 spells prepped. And then Morbid Gaze goes off, unleashed twice, which means Mord's ability activates twice, so that's either 6 damage to Gravehold, or I can spend charges to reduce it to 1 while also damaging Mord. Let me look at his hand. Yeah, I can lose 1. I'll use 1 charge from Ogmore. So that will reduce the damage to 4. So we'll go from 20 to 16. And Mord will take 1 damage. Yep. And then players collectively discard 3 cards. So Spark and Crystal. And Jagged Lightning. And we still draw a card. Internal Domain, power 2, or to discard, spend 8, which I'll never be able to get. Power 2, draw an Acolyte. Resolve the blood magic effect of each Acolyte in play without those Acolytes suffering damage from their blood magic effects. So this one, I'm a little unclear on. This seems very overpowered for a card because, to me, you already have 2. So if you're drawing 3, that means you're keeping 3 out there. And then whenever one's discarded, a new one comes into play. So you're going from having 2 in play to 3 for the rest of the game. That's how I read that. So I definitely would like to discard that. Maza's turn. He generates 3 Aether and he buys a Conclave Scroll. That's his turn. Okay, Maza does get to go again. All right, I will. I'll hold on to those, I guess. I will use World Heart's 2 Aether charge to generate 5, but I'm gonna buy 2 Volcanic Glasses, so they actually both go to Ogmore. For one in his discard and 1 on top of his pile. And then using Karen Compass, I may prep a spell to an open or closed breach. Whatever happened? What? Did I never cast this? I don't. Oh, well, whatever. So I allowed him to prep an Aurora. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna pause the video real quick. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. My dog actually started throwing up. She was chewing sticks outside, and she swallows the little pieces. And yeah, did too much of that. So she threw up. That's okay. All right, so where was it? So Mazza just went. Yep, and he prepped that Aurora. 5. So he's drawing his hand. Okay. All right, very cool. Olgamore's going to prep his Aurora. So now that we're entering my main phase, because of the 2 Auroras, he actually generates 2 charges. How cool is that? And then he generates 4 Aether. I will buy 2 charges. I will use his special ability. It's a little early. I probably could get away with not doing it. But I'm buying 1 charge using his. It was 1 charge, right? Yeah, it was 1 charge. So he remains with 1 charge and he heals himself 6. So he goes up to 9 life, which is just very, very powerful. Okay, Nemesis' turn. We take a token off of Infernal Domain. And we draw Chaos Flail. Discard, spend 7 Aether. Power 2, unleash twice. Any player places their discard pile on top of their deck, shuffles it, then reveals top 2 cards and destroys the most expensive one. Alright, Olgamore gets to go. He has 3 spells and 2 prepped. Even though I don't really want to cast them. Well, first I'll use Conclave. Well, I guess I'll cast both. I don't really have a choice. So I will cast both Auroras. 3 damage, killing the Solara. And dealing 2 damage, or 3 damage to Mord, leaving him with 2 life. So after Solara is exhausted, Edrish Trag comes out. 11 life. Any player suffers 2 damage. Then if that player has 5 life or less, this minion suffers 2 damage. I forgot to power tokens on Chaos. Okay. Then I'm going to prep. Lightning. Spark. Use the scroll. Gain another charge. And this is worth not much. So I will use 2 for another charge, and I'll hold on to the spark to discard it with Blind Lightning. Okay, Nemesis gets to go. Infernal Domain activates. Draw an Acolyte. And we get Kurgax. 11 life. Gravehold suffers 1 damage. Any player suffers 1 damage. Alright, now all 3 Acolytes get to resolve their effect. So that's going to be 3 damage to Gravehold. 2 damage to a player. And then another 1 damage to Gravehold, another 1 damage to a player. So that's 4 damage to Gravehold total, and 3 damage to a player. So Olgamore's going to take the 3, leaves him with 6, and then 4 to Gravehold, which leaves me with 12. Chaos Flail then loses a token, and then we still draw a card, Unleash. The Acolyte with the lowest life gains 10. Oh. Okay. We're going to have Olgamore. So, Blood Magic effect, we're going to have Trag go off. He's going to do 2 damage to Olgamore. Brings him from 6 to 4. Because he is 5 life or less, Trag then takes 2 damage, which brings him from 11 to 9. Then the Acolyte with the lowest life, which is Mord, with 2, heals 10. So he goes up to 11 again. And then his effect goes off, dealing 3 damage to Gravehold. So I will use a charge from Olgamore. to reduce that to 1 to Gravehold, and then Mord also takes 1. Whew, that was a hell of a activation for Nemesis. Okay, Maz's turn. He's going to cast Spark. And he's going to cast... Actually, no. We'll hold on to the Spark. He's going to cast Jagged Lightning. And it's going to do 3 damage to... Trag, I guess. And... then he's going to discard a Spark to focus his 3rd breach. And he's going to prep Spark to that 3rd focus breach. Not that it really matters. And then he will use Conclave Scroll to gain a charge. And then he will pay 3 to purchase another Conclave Scroll. So I now have all 5 Conclave Scrolls, which means its special effect will now activate, allowing you to discard or destroy the top card of your ally's discard pile when you use it. Hopefully that comes in handy. Lets me start getting rid of some of these crystals and sparks. I hate uncurated decks. It's a real problem for me. By the way, if you guys, this is a great solo game, but if you have people that you play with, especially like if you're a 3 or 4 person group, I also picked up another card game a couple years ago. Epic Spell Wars of Annihilation 2 is the one I have. It is so much fun. Such a good time. Such a great deck builder. Really, really good. Very adult humor. A lot of like sex jokes and poop jokes and stuff like that. But really, really cool art. Really tight gameplay. So if you enjoy this type of gameplay, but you wanted to do more of a versus version against other players, I highly recommend Epic Spell Wars. Now again, I think the 3rd one just came out, but I didn't get that one. I don't have anybody to play with anymore. So it's just collecting dust on a shelf for me. But still, cool game. Okay. We are going to cast Jagged Lightning for 3. We're going to hit Trag with it. Bring him 3 life. Discarding a Spark to focus his 3rd breach. And prep Jagged Lightning. And then he generates 4 Aether. And he purchases a Cairn Compass. I really didn't get my economy going strong enough in this one, so I'm probably going to lose the game just because of that, unfortunately. It's a little too middle tier. But we'll see. He gets to go again. We're going to cast Jagged Lightning again. That's enough to kill Trag. 3 damage. So she goes to the discard pile, and we get a new one. Navkalis. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. This minion suffers 1. So I use the Jagged Lightning. I discard Spark, focusing that 3rd breach again. And then I will use Conclave Scroll. I will not, and gain a charge. I will not use the secondary ability because I don't want to destroy Volcanic Glass. And then use Coal Shard, so I lose 2 life. Gain a charge. And then I have 5 Aether, which is enough for another Aurora. Nemesis' turn. Chaos Spell activates. Unleash twice. Alright, so we're going to have Nafkalis go off once. And that's going to do 3 damage to Gravehold, bringing us to 8. And then he suffers 1 damage, bringing him to 10. And then Kurgax is going to go once, doing 1 damage to Gravehold, bringing us to 7. And he's going to do 1 damage to Maza, leaving him at 8. And then any player places discard pile on top of their deck and then shuffles it. And we'll go more to it, because I don't particularly like his deck order. So Ogamore's deck is a lot fatter than Maza's. Unfortunately, I destroyed the most expensive card that I revealed. So in that sense, I probably should have just picked Maza, because the most expensive card he even has is a Jagged Lightning. So here I'm risking an Aurora, but kind of wanted to mix them up. Cairn Compass is destroyed. Alright, Maza's turn. This spark is definitely going off. Yep. So that's 1 damage to Kurgax. Bringing him back into. So all 3 of my acolytes are at 10, so I can pick whose ability goes where. And then I'm going to prep Jagged Lightning. That's unfortunate. I will use Conclave Scroll to gain a charge. Secondary ability does not work because there is no discard pile. And he then gets 4 Aether. Man, 4 does not. Okay, 4, he will purchase 2 charges and then use his special ability, which will heal Gravehold by 4, going from 7 back up to 11, and it gives him a Frozen Magmite. Okay, he gets to go again. He will use Jagged Lightning on Mord, doing 3 damage, bringing her to 7. He will then discard a crystal, and that opens his 3rd breach. Cool. We'll hold on to Cairn Compass. Or actually, I will use the World Heart Shard along with the 2 crystals, which will purchase a Jagged Lightning for Ogamore. I will then use Cairn Compass to prep Jagged Lightning. To his 1st breach. That was kind of cool. So that's an example of, like, I would not have probably used Cairn Compass very much, but it works really well with Maza. And like that's a nice little synergy there where I can purchase a spell, give it to my ally, and then prep that spell immediately to their breach. That's pretty cool. And I wouldn't have known about that if I didn't use randomizers. I probably wouldn't use that card. Alright, Nemesis turn. Board is clear other than the Acolytes. And we get another minion, Null Scion, 11 life. Persistent Unleash. Okay, I'm definitely lacking in firepower. Ogamore has 3 Auroras. I did buy the 5 Jagged Lightnings. I mean, they do 3 damage, but yeah, just feels lacking. Why I don't know why. I'm sorry, I was not even looking at my hands. I was looking at the board up here. really wanted to get those bloodstones. I don't have enough of an economy going. I want to grab some of those Nova Forges. I also wouldn't pick this gem setup if I was using Maza, if I was picking on my own. Alright, we will cast Jagged Lightning. It's going to do 3 damage to a null Scion, dropping him to 8. This time I will discard a crystal, and that'll allow me to open up my second breach. I will also cast Spark, and 1 damage to the Scion, and prepping Spark. And then I generate 6 Aether, and you may place the next card you gain on top of your deck, and I'm going to take Nova Forge for 6. Ooh. Take that back. I'm going to take the Bloodstone Jewel. That's going to go on top of my deck. And that also gives me another 3. And I purchase another Frozen Magmite. I have most of the cards I need, but I actually do need a better economy to be able to discard some of the attacks. I haven't been able to discard really any of them, and it hurts. All right, we do get Maza though. He will cast Spark for 1 on Null Scion, dropping him to 6. He will prep Jagged Lightning and Spark, and then he will use 2 Conclave Scrolls for 2 charges. Will not destroy Frozen Magmites. Nemesis gets to go. So we start with an Unleash. That means Mord is going to go off. So we're going to use a charge. So it does 1 damage to Gravehold, brings us to 10, and Mord takes 1 damage. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed. I thought that was 11. It's 7. So I don't get to do that. I can either have Nafkalis or Kurgax go. So we'll have actually Nafkalis go. He's going to do 3 damage to Gravehold. Brings us to 8. And he takes 1 damage. I put that charge back, right? I think I did. Let's say that I did. Alright, and that was the Unleash. And then we get Resolve the Blood Magic effect with the Echo with the most life. The Acolyte then suffers 6 damage and then Unleash twice. Okay. So that's Kurgax. So Gravehold takes 1 damage. Naza is going to take 1 damage. Then he takes 6 damage. So he gets reduced to 4. And then we unleash twice, which means Nafkalis is going to activate twice, doing 6 damage to Gravehold, leaving me with 1 life. But he takes 2 damage as well. So now we have Mord with 7, Nafkalis with 7, and Kurgax with 4. Holy shnikes. Okay. Maz's turn. Okay. He's going to cast Jagged Lightning and Spark, which will do 5 damage total. We're going to hit Nafkalis with both of the... Oh, I'm sorry. Not Nafkalis. We're going to hit Null Scion with both of those, bringing him to 1 life. We'll then discard the crystal to focus his 4th breach. And we will prep Spark to the 3rd. We will use Conclave Scroll for a charge. and then he will buy 2 more charges because he's going to use his special ability. So he'll buy 1 charge first, use his special ability, which will restore Gravehold from 1 life to 5, and it will give him a Frozen Magmite, and then he will purchase an additional charge. So kind of hair in my teeth on at this point. All right, you do get Olgamore. Cool. He will cast Spark. Will kill the Null Scion. He will prep Aurora and Jagged Lightning. The Aurora, while it's prepped, grants him a charge. And then he generates 5. So he's going to use 4 of that to power up his special ability, which he will then use to heal himself 6 life, bring him back up to 8. Very, very cool. So my player's life is now okay again. Gravehold is questionable, but yeah, okay. I was able to get rid of the Null Scion, so that's good. Mangle Root, 12 life. Persistent. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. This minion suffers 2 damage. 12 life. So that will kill me in 2 activations. So I have got to take him out. So if there's a double activation in here, that's game over. I am not fixing the deck or anything. I'm just stupid. If you see me shuffling that way, I'm not smart enough to keep track of cards to even try. It's not a skill that I have, and it would bore me if I did. Like why cheat? When I'm playing solo, that doesn't even make sense. Okay, Maz's turn. He will cast Spark for 2 damage to Mangle Root. And then he will prep Jagged Lightning. He then generates 2, 4, 5 Aether, or 6 if I give it to Olgamore. I'll do 6. Purchase a Bloodstone Jewel, which goes to Olgamore, which gives me another 3, which allows me to purchase Frozen Magmite for himself. So again, I know I need better spells, but I also need a better economy. And I'm not going to be able to discard any of his abilities if I don't get some more economy going. All right, Olgamore, here we go. Okay. I don't want to cast that Aurora, but I need to. So we're going to cast the Aurora and the Jagged Lightning, and that's worth a total of 7 damage, which will leave the Mangle Root with 3 life. We will then prep. Oh, and I will discard a crystal as well, which allows me to focus my 4th Breach. I will then prep a Jagged Lightning. And then I will use Coal Shard. So I lose 2 life, going from 8 to 6, which grants me a charge. And 3 Aether, 4, 6. And I will purchase a Nova Forge. Okay, nice. Mazza gets to go next. He will cast Jagged Lightning for 4 damage, killing the Mango Root. So that worked out very, very nicely. Discarding a crystal to focus his 4th breach. I will then prep a Spark to the 3rd breach. Man, I wish I... And I will use Conclave Scroll to gain a charge. And Cairn Compass. To prep his Nova Forge. And then the crystal gets wasted. Nemesis gets to go. I was able to get those minions out of there. A Photic Sun. Discard 7 Aether. Power to Unleash. Player with the most charges suffers 3 damage and loses all of their charges. So I'd definitely like to get rid of that. Alright, Ogamore. I'm going to cast Jagged Lightning for 4 damage, defeating Kurgax. And that brings out Lurzon. Player with the lowest life suffers 1 damage. Okay, and as I cast Jagged Lightning, I will discard a Spark to focus my 4th breach. I will then use a Conclave Scroll for a charge and destroy this crystal of Mazza's. I will use Conclave Scroll and Volcanic Glass again for 2 more charges. And I will prep Aurora, which also grants me an additional charge. Hells yeah. Okay. Nemesis' turn. We take a power token off the Photic Sun. But this is the problem right here is turns like this with 1 Aether, and he's only got 2 over there. Cataclysmic Fate, power 1. The player with the lowest life suffers 4 damage. This is my first tier 3 card, so that means I'm in round 8. Or I must have misdrawn somewhere. Destroy a prep spell that costs 5 or more, and a breach in which it was prepared. Ooh, that's a rough discard. I have to do it immediately too. Damn. That sucks. That really sucks. Okay, Photic Sun goes off. Unleash, which will be Navkalis doing 3 damage to Gravehold, dropping it to 2. He then suffers 1 damage. The player with the most charges, which is Olgamore, takes 3 damage and loses all of their charges. So that leaves him with 3 life. Then Cataclysmic Fate goes off. The player with the lowest life suffers 4 damage. That's Olgamore. So he becomes exhausted. When he becomes exhausted, Gravefold takes 4 damage as the first effect, and that's game over. Unfortunate. I still like these two. I didn't play Maza very well. So what ended up happening that I wasn't expecting. So the idea was Olgamore was going to tank my hits and keep healing himself. He did that. He did a great job at that. And then Maza was going to heal Gravefold. Here's the thing. I didn't quite get charges with him early. I would have been better off actually purchasing those Conclave Scrolls with him early instead of gems to let him get his ability and get his economy going that way. So what I'm realizing is he's really a support character. And what you want to do with him is load everything up onto your main baddie, mage, essentially. And then he'll catch up because he's just buying cards and giving them to him, essentially, with his special card. Is the best way to use him. And that's fine, but what it happens is then you get a big fat deck like this if you don't have any deck curation. So without having the ability to get rid of the starting cards, it wasn't very helpful. And then he never got enough of his own firepower. He didn't have enough of an economy. So what is he having here? A Jagged Lightning, a second Jagged Lightning. That's it. That's all he had. 2 Jagged Lightnings. So he couldn't really do much. So he didn't have much economy, and he didn't have much for spells. And he didn't even have that many relics. Really, Olgamore had everything. He had 3 Auroras, Nova Forge, and 3 Jagged Lightnings on top of that. So he had all the spells, and yet, and all the money. But he had no way to get rid of his starting cards to make that worthwhile. So it felt very out of balance there. I'm definitely going to keep Olgamore because these guys do so much damage, especially to players. And for the most part, you can pick the player. I may swap out Maza, or I may just use him again and just really focus on trying to get him better spells. But this gem setup was not ideal for him either. Yeah, it wasn't too bad of a game. I did fine until I got to tier 3. I even managed to defeat 3 Acolytes. So that's not horrible. But yeah, I never got the firepower going. My economy was slightly behind, and that my firepower was just unevenly distributed. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Love you. See you next time.